Okay, sorry, that last video got cut off short. Going on, and God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and of the dread of you will be upon every beast of the field, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all the moving, upon all that moves upon the earth, and upon all the fish of the sea, into your hand, and they delivered. Into your hand are they delivered. Okay, so do not the animals fear mankind? Okay, you go out into the woods to wild animals. Do they not run from you? Every moving thing that lives shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. Okay, are we not eating meat? Have we just completely stopped eating meat and eating green herbs? So pretty much we're just starving? Okay. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, will not eat. Okay. And surely your blood of your lives will I require at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother, will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God, man made man. God made man. And you, be you fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. Okay? So when a man kills another man, are not we still extracting the same punishment towards that man? Do we not have jails and so on and so forth that also execute a murderer? And God spake to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither will all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood. Neither will there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. Okay, so since this time, has there been a flood to actually cover the whole entire earth and destroy every mankind? And God said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for a perpetual generation, for perpetual generations, forever and ever and ever. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it will be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it will come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow will be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters will no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said to Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. Do we not still see rainbows in the sky? It may be here and there, but we still see rainbows in the sky. So the Nahaic, or the repopulation of the earth, fear of man put in animals. You are not allowed to eat meat and vegetation. You're still not allowed to eat blood. Murderers are now executed. World never destroyed again by flood. Also, the rainbow, signifying the covenants. So, what part of that covenant is done away with? I don't see any. Okay, so the Abrahamic covenant, Genesis 12. So for all you that say that the covenants are done away with, they are done away if they no longer exist. Genesis 12, 2, Genesis chapter 12, verse 2 and 3. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make your name great, and thou wilt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless you, and curse him that curses you, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. Okay? Is Israel not a great nation? Is it not lifted up? Um, has not all the world been blessed because of the father of Israel through the Messiah? What part of this covenant is done away with? Okay, so the Abrahamic land of Canaan given to Abraham, now Israel. Okay, going on to chapter 17. Chapter 17, verse 3 through 27. Wow. Okay. Okay. We're actually going to start with Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said to him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be you perfect, or be you complete. The only one that's perfect is the Father. And I will make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you will be a father of many nations. Neither will the name any more be called Abram, but your name will be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made you. And I will make you fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings shall come out of you. Okay? This is not just talking about Abraham being the father of Israel. It says many nations will be created out of Abraham. This is where you get Ishmael, and from Ishmael, you also have many nations. Okay? And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto them and to your seed after thee. And I will give to you and to your seed after you the land wherein you are strangers, all the land of Canaan, for the everlasting promise or possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abram, Thou wilt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after you in your generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you, every seed after Abraham. And every man child among you will be circumcised. Okay, those who are brought into the covenant are circumcised, and you will circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it will be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in the generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger which is not of your seed. Those who are grafted in are apparently supposed to be circumcised, because you are now part of and partakers of the nation of Israel. You are now born into Israel. He that is born in your house and he that is bought with your money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant will be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Okay, are we still not going through the circumcision rituals? Okay, are people still not being circumcised? And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarah your wife, thou wilt call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yes, I will bless her, and she will be a mother of nations, kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live forever, might live before you. And God said, Sarah, your wife, will bear you a son indeed, and you will call his name Isaac. And this is where Israel comes from. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Okay? And as for Ishmael, Ishmael is the firstborn. He is the other nations. I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes will he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Okay? 12 princes he will beget. So these are 12 different nations. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto you at his set time in the next year. Okay? The main covenants that God, meaning the partaking of the land, becoming part of Israel, and so on and so forth, are stationed with Isaac and not Ishmael. Okay? But that does not mean that Ishmael cannot come into the covenant through the blood of the Messiah. Okay? So, you have the Abrahamic, which is the land of Canaan given to Abraham or Israel, and the circumcision. Okay, and now you have the Palestinian covenant, which is found in Deuteronomy chapter 4. And in fact, what I'm going to do right now is we're just going to go ahead and cut this off right now. I probably should have cut it off in the last video when it got messed up. But we're going to cut this off right now. We're going to get into the next part after this and finish this completely for the preaching portion. Now, this is the difference between the preaching and the teaching. The teaching is going to have a lot more information than what I'm going to be able to give to you here. Because the preaching is straight to the point. A teaching is not. A teaching gives you all the information and will gradually get you to the point. Okay? So let me know which portion you like better, if you like the preaching or if you like the teaching, and we'll go from there depending on what is liked. But as a teacher, I am an instructor, and preaching is not my go-to. Okay, instruction is. Okay, it does not mean that I cannot preach. It just means that I prefer not to. I'd rather have all the information out there so everybody can gather it and come to the same conclusion. That's what the instruction does. Okay, but the preaching will just give you the facts straight out, straight to the point, regardless of anything. Regardless, if you've actually watched this part of the video first, please go back to watching Breaking Down the Walls, Grafting in 2.1, part 2.1 first, because this video comes after that video is cut off by accident. Okay, so enable to watch this video, watch that first part, the 2.1, then come and watch this part, which will finish up the rest of the part that we're at right now, going over the covenants. So we're going to finish up the covenants in the next part. We're also going to go over some definitions of what a sojourner is, what it means to be grafted in, definitions, and so on and so forth. We're also going to go into more understanding about what the covenants are, what happens when you break these covenants, and so on and so forth. If you are partakers of the promises of the covenants, you cannot be partakers of the promises if you do not abide by the covenants. Okay? It's like I don't even know what to actually put it with. Um, say I have a cup and I say that this is the covenant that I'm making between me and you. Okay? So if you don't take that cup, you will not be able to receive the promises from that cup, which is probably the nourishment from drinking it. Okay? You will not receive the promises of the nourishment of drinking that cup. Okay? If you do not take part of the covenant that we are making. Okay? So if I give you a cup, say of water, and you need it, and I'm making this covenant between me and you to nourish you, and I give you the cup but you don't take it, then you won't be nourished. But if you do take the cup, then you drink it and you receive the promises of nourishment which I promised you through the covenant. Okay, that's how it works. You cannot have the promises without being partakers of the covenant itself. And to be partakers of the covenant is to fulfill all the Father's word from the beginning to end. So we're going to go ahead and finish up the rest of this in the next part, 2.2, and see what we like better, either the preaching or the teaching. Regardless, Yah bless you all. I love you. And have a good day or night, depending on when you see this. Until next time, bye.